wake of introducing us with the universe of Seven Kingdoms, magic, dragons, and the best fights, Game of Thrones creators are back with a prequel named House of the Dragon. The show comes as a treat to all the Game of Thrones fans, as they will see George R.R. Martin's book, Fire and Blood, waking up on the TV screen. The creation of HBO's show has started, which also tells us about the cast of the show, making everyone on social media all excited about the release of this prequel. House of Dragon is going to unfold many mysteries which were left untouched in the last season of Game of Thrones. So today, let's talk about everything we know so far about the release of Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragons. The new series is set 300 years earlier than the previous season and events of Game of Thrones. This prequel mainly focuses on the House of Targaryen. Like Game of Thrones, House of Dragons is also based on a book by George R.R. Martin, which goes by the name of Fire and Blood. The plot obviously revolves around the same question: who is going to rule the Iron Throne? Creators of the show haven't spilled many beans about the story of this prequel. However, Martin Kenzie, the director of House of Dragons and Game of Thrones, posted a little hint on his blog saying, "If you'd like to know a bit more of what the show will be about, well, I can't actually spill those beans, but you might want to pick up a copy of 2 anthologies I did with Gardner Dozois, Dangerous Woman and Rogues, and then move on to the Archmaester Gildane's history, Fire and Blood." As Martin hinted towards Dangerous Women, we were quick to discover that it is about events of a civil war that divided Westeros into 2 parts nearly 2 centuries before Game of Thrones. This might mean viewers can expect another major war featured in House of Dragons as well. As Martin also hinted towards his anthology Rogues, it mostly features details about the Rogue's Prince, also known as King's brother, which features the chronicles of the early life, adventures, misdeeds, and marriages of Prince Daemon Targaryen, as it is said to be one of the biggest rogues featured in the first book of Game of Thrones, The Song of Ice and Fire. And at last, the novel Fire and Blood, which was released in 2018, is a 2-part history of Targaryens in Westeros, as House of Targaryen was the only family of dragon lords to survive the Doom of Valyria, and then they resided in Dragonstone. The novel starts with a story of legendary Aegon the Conqueror, who created the Iron Throne, and goes on to recounting the generations of Targaryen household who fight to hold the Iron Throne, which turns into a civil war that divides the Targaryen dynasty apart. Hence, we are suspecting the show will start with the history of House of Targaryen and creation of Iron Throne, and as the show will progress, siblings will be standing as a rival in front of each other to hold the iconic Iron Throne, which might lead to some serious events and eventually a civil war. Moving towards the cast of the show, House of the Dragon features Paddy Considine, Olivia Cooke, Matt Smith, Emma D'Arcy, and Fabian Frankel. Matt Smith has the major conflicting role as Smith, who you can see in all his blonde glory, plays Prince Daemon Targaryen. As HBO described Smith's Daemon in its press materials, the young brother of King Viserys and heir to the throne, Daemon is a peerless warrior and a dragon rider who possesses the true blood of the dragon. But it is said that whenever a Targaryen is born, the gods toss a coin in the air. On the other hand, Paddy Considine is playing King Viserys Targaryen, the successor of old King Jaehaerys Targaryen. Emma D'Arcy is portraying Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, who is the firstborn of King Viserys. Rhys Ifans is casted as Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, and Olivia Cooke as Alicent Hightower, who is the daughter of the Otto Hightower. House of Valyrian also plays its part in House of Dragons, so we also have Steve Toussaint as Lord Corlys, also known as Sea Snake, as Lord of House of Valyrian. The show will also see Eve Best as Princess Rhaenys Valyrian, wife of Lord Corlys Valyrian, and a dragon rider, Soniette Mizuno as Mysaria, an ally of Prince Daemon Targaryen, and Fabian Frankel as Sir Crystal Cole, coming from Dornish descent. Speaking of creators, Martin and Condell fill in as co-creators of the arrangement, while Emmy Award-winning director Sapoknik and Condell will be showrunners and executive producers. Sapoknik will direct the pilot and extra episodes of the series, which will be authored by Condell, whereas the new soundtrack will be composed by Raymond Djawadi. Shooting for House of Dragons started on April 5th in Los Angeles, London, and Spain, according to online reports. HBO and HBO Max chief content official Casey Bloys discloses in an interview that Dragon showrunners Miguel Sapoknik from Game of Thrones and Ryan J. Condell of Colony have drafts of scripts for all 10 episodes of the first season. This means the first season is going to have 10 episodes, and keeping in mind the length of Game of Thrones episodes, all episodes might range between 45 to 60 minutes or more. Many images from the shoots have been released, and what is fascinating is that Cornwall is the new shooting location for Game of Thrones, which proposes these specific scenes don't occur at any natural spots, and that Daemon was known to live in Martin's set of experiences, like Dragonstone or King's Landing. More data is clearly approaching, so until we have more information, consider these pictures that look halfway like development zones, and it looks like the scenes are culled directly from an epic fantasy series. The official release date of the show is not yet disclosed, but the show will air sometime in 2022 on HBO and its OTT stage HBO Max. And if HBO's arrangement with Star proceeds, House of the Dragon will air in India on Disney Plus Hotstar like GOT was previously aired in India. What are your thoughts about House of Dragons, which is a highly awaited prequel of Game of Thrones? From the looks of it, the show looks quite promising. Let us know in the comments section below how excited you are about House of Dragons. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button below the video. And for more amazing content, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. For more quick updates, hit the bell icon so you can get notifications every time we post a new video.